Peace be unto you, sisters. Thank you so much for watching my video. This is Priestess Wisdom 1. We're going to talk about the curse of real and energy resonance. Resonance, energy, conjuring, value, and such the like. I was recently speaking with a sister who is a behavioral health specialist, and she was talking to me about victimhood. And she was saying to me that Black women's sisterhood is really not a sisterhood, it's a victimhood. See, true sisterhood is going to hold you to a certain accounting standard. True sisterhood is going to take for you to be a grown-up. It's going to take for you to be healthy, responsible, which really means able to respond. And it's going to take a certain level of mastery, a certain level of couth, even crass. But she said that it is impossible to do with people who do not understand the setting of boundaries, who have absolutely zero skills in conflict resolution, and who refuse to address things directly. With these people, you will only ever get the resonant energy of victimhood. Now, with people who have healthy behavioral patterns, people who can form healthy relationships, people who have a healthy relationship with themselves, not a crazed one, not an egotistical one, but a healthy understanding and awareness of themselves, they're okay with setting boundaries, they're okay with conflict resolution, and they know how to address things directly. When there has been trauma, when one has been abused, and that abuse can come in the form of childhood abuse, neglect, financial abuse, which I find raising children in poverty to be child abuse to the max. In addition to spanking children to be child abuse to the max. There is no difference between spanking and abuse. I stand by that. If you have any questions, I can refer you to the research of Dr. Stacy Patton. I will link some of it below in this video. People who have experienced these traumas, rape, sexual abuse, molestation, they have a harder time with behavioral health in many different ways. Now, again, healthy behavioral patterns would involve you setting clear boundaries and respecting your own boundaries. Healthy conflict resolution skills. Being able to address things directly. And getting where it's problematic when you don't. Now, we all make mistakes, right? Things happen. You blow your top, you go off, it happens, right? But there's such a thing as a pattern of behavior as well. And we have to pay attention to the pattern of behavior. This is priestess wisdom. This is for those of you who are looking to grow. Look at the pattern of your behavior, especially if you know you've been through some trauma, some abuse, some neglect, okay? For those of us who have survived sexual abuse, setting boundaries is difficult. Value of yourself is where that comes into play, and we get better at it. This healing journey, being restored from being raped, it is a journey. It really is a journey. It's not a popped in. This is healing, healing, spirituality, magic. It's not Pop-Tarts, okay? We're not going to pop it in the toaster oven and in 30 seconds it's hot and ready. That's not how this works. It takes work, growth, development, redevelopment, especially after you've been abused. If you've been spanked, which is abuse, if you've been molested or raped or traumatized, if you grew up in a household where there wasn't enough to eat, overcrowded household, poverty, I'm talking poverty here. These things can impede setting up clear, healthy boundaries. Moreover, seeing yourself as more valuable than what happened to you. It takes work, and you get better. It gets better. over time when you're recovering from trauma, from abuse, and reconnecting to being able to have a healthy relationship with yourself and form healthy relationships with other people. But that one right there, for those of us who have survived sexual assault, molestation, setting clear boundaries, healthy boundaries, it's difficult. And that is my lesson, and it's been kicking my ass. And it's supposed to kick my ass because, you know what? When you make a mistake, you got to learn your lesson. And lessons repeat until they're learned. Choosing to see yourself as the value in every situation, even in interactions with other women. And I was talking about this in my video that I put up yesterday, where we talked about the business of healing. And I talked about how important it is to have a healthy relationship with your father, to foster a healthy relationship to the energy of the masculine, and to be able to receive, to be able to feel safe and protected by the masculine, to not be relating to the masculine like he's a man. And I talked about how not having your father in the home can hinder your self-esteem and confidence, and your affirmation, your validation. I didn't talk about the other side, the way we relate to our mothers, the woundedness of our mothers, the wounds we inherit, because trauma is passed down in the DNA. Science has proven that. Trauma is passed down in the DNA. They found it in sperm. Should tell you something. Nonetheless, it is in us, and it is through the influence of our mothers that a lot of these issues in sisterhood, in relationships, setting healthy boundaries, good behavioral health patterns, this is where this comes up. I've noticed the sisters who had healthy relationships with their moms, who had mothers who affirmed them, who had mothers who celebrated their femininity, mothers who validated them, mothers who went to war on their behalf. Those women are very well-rounded, especially if they also had their fathers in their life. They're very well-rounded. They got the validation that we get when we have healthy relationships with other people. But when you don't have that, when your mother was abusive to you, when your mother was neglectful to you, when your mother put some man over you, whether that man was your daddy or not, it creates a woundedness. It does. The feminine in you, in us, gets wounded. She's not divine. She's wounded and broken, and she may not ever get up from there if she stays in that victimhood. So I want to challenge you sisters to close this out. Priestess Wisdom 1. Let us not have a victimhood anymore, but a sisterhood. Thank you for listening. Ashe, Selah, Swaha.